Ladies and gentlemen, we've got ourselves another video, potentially another Glaze video for Wuthering Waves. It's not potentially, I think it is. It's going to be by the Gotcha DG2, and this one is going to be focused on how Wuthering Waves is destroying the competition with this update. And frame one of the video, what I see as fast equip artifacts. So surely it's going to be on something a little bit spicy. So why don't we go ahead, why don't we get right on into it and see what this one is all about.
As inevitable as Genshin Impact trolling you with fake out quality of life changes.
That was such a bait, it was ridiculous. The number of CCs, like Fobmaster, like Tuwantos, like Tectones, like the Brand Onlines, like the Doro 44s that I saw glazing Hoyoverse for this artifact loadout was ridiculous. And like that just kind of shows just how deceptive their marketing practice was, where even the guys that play the game every day had no idea that the system that they implemented was literally just what they already had in the game.
Quality of life changes or gotcha drama. Wuthering Waves has delivered again. At this point, it isn't very much of a surprise. Wuthering Waves won't leave you hanging for very long. 2.5 wasn't really anything special aside from the story quest that wasn't a 10 out of 10 or anything, but
it was only a 7. But yeah, I think 2.5, aside from the story, is possibly one of the driest patches the game has ever had.
the logo was a very cool character and is pretty strong overall, aside from her echo set being a little cringe to farm.
Very true as well. I don't like the Nightmare Purification fields.
If you're new here, you're probably not used to relevant quality of life changes or events that are actually worth playing. Version 2.6 is right around the corner, and
yeah?
I did not doubt Kuro for 1 second. I would
Why
never say anything bad about this masterpiece.
As a bit of context over here, I've actually seen this video by DG, and it's a good video, right? It kind of breaks down whether or not Wuthering Waves is truly as greedy as Hoyoverse with some of the recent things that they've done. And the short answer is no, but they could possibly get there if they keep fucking up the game. And so it's like a good reflection piece to actually like look back and see, based off of some of the predatory things Kuro is doing in the present, is it as bad as other titles? And is there like a need to raise the alarm? Yes, there's a need to raise the alarm, but no, it's not as bad as other titles.
Now, I do have some great news for you if you're actually a new player. Aside from the soft relaunch in 2.0, this looks like one of the best versions to start playing Wuthering Waves.
And that was one of the best frames you could have used from the trailer to say that. Well done, sir.
We are getting reruns for the best free-to-play DPS in the game and the best general support in the game. Carlotta has great accessible teammates and makes use of one of the best characters in the game that you might already have in Jeje. You also have access to the Static Mist, the standard 5-star gun, and while it isn't the best, it's definitely one of the better alternatives to a signature weapon. She
also true, yeah.
plays very far away from the enemy, so you don't have to time your dodges. I know a lot of you are in need of a character like that because you can't beat any content. Come on, give me the Kelper. What the fuck? Bro, are you? I'm about to like.
Hello, motherfucker.
Get over here!
Dude, can I last 10 seconds?
What you say to me?
Oh yeah, I'm about to work these dudes out.
What?
I'm about to work these dudes out. Okay.
I do think the Kelpie is glacier resistant. So this is like a segment in the video, but it's also basically just a self-report from DG2 that he doesn't know what enemy resistances are.
Wait, I'm not doing any damage. All right. Okay. Wait. Okay, I've restarted a couple times. No biggie. Who doesn't though? Who doesn't restart, man? Who doesn't restart? Are you fucking kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me?
Finish it.
You gotta be, bruh. Why does this feel harder than last time? Oh, this is a good run here. This is gonna be a good run.
What are you aiming at?
Oh, I'm locked in. I'm locked in. Let's go. I'm locked in. Are you serious? I'm still taking damage.
How long does he have this compilation of him sucking dick?
Oh, that's a good ult. That's a good ult. That's a good ult, DG. That's a good ult. Doesn't matter. Off element. Doesn't matter.
Oh, he knows he's off element. Okay, never mind. He's just doing this to showcase how many times he can die against one boss in one sitting.
We're getting to work. Oh, this is easy. This is easy. Who's struggling with this? Wait, what? What's going on? Wait, is there 3 of them? What's going on? Is there 3 of them? Maybe I should just try again later. I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna try this again later. What am I talking about? Did I mention she had a swimsuit skin too? And Shorekeeper is still an amazing value pull for anyone because she can be thrown into almost any team for.
That was one of the worst advertisements for Carlotta that I've ever seen. I'm just going to be honest with you. Maybe his goal with this video was actually to make the Wuthering Waves 2.6 update a failure, because I don't think anyone's going to think Carlotta's a good character after watching that compilation.
Sweet crit buffs and healing. Plus, you don't have to force a lot of resources into her if you don't want to. As for the new characters, there's no way that better Mawika is going to be bad, and the foot model is most likely going to be a good teammate for her. But I haven't even mentioned the best part for new players. Usually in other gacha titles, it's hard to make suggestions to make the product better because it usually falls on deaf ears. There's definitely some things that have gotten through, but a lot of the times it's shit that doesn't really matter, like ZZZ updating the UI and it's still mid.
I'm not going to lie. I thought that this was going to be helpful when they added like maps and stuff. The maps are honestly more confusing than what they had before. I don't know how they managed to like actually fuck up a map, but they managed to fuck up the maps in ZZZ. Like, I don't know why they felt the need to make something 2D, 3D, and then make it look this confusing. This is like going into Google Maps, turning on like the like live view, and instead of like seeing like green because it's Earth, everything's made out of cum. And that's like what the ZZZ minimap is. It's like they got the topographic view and then made everything just become. Look at it. Look at this.
Mid. At a baseline, the exploration in WuWa is some of the best you're going to experience in gacha, but after experiencing flight mechanics in the new regions, if you pull for a character like Jeje for your Carlotta, you don't want to sit there and just walk around. Don't get me wrong, the exploration was already great whenever the game came out, but flight is the easiest way to get around and do what you need to do in the most efficient way possible.
True, but that also means you can miss a ton of shit because you're flying past it at Mach 7 speed.
It feels good to have your time,
which is fine in like Renacida and Septimont because everything is super fucking far apart.
Be respected. If you like running out of stamina and trotting around like a snail, I don't blame you. I'm sure there's an audience for that type of gameplay, but WuWa is becoming extremely convenient to play. When it comes to those regions that you put on the back burner because you didn't feel like farming them, coming from Renacida, it'll now be a lot easier to go back and do that now. Because
he actually brings up an amazing point over here that I think a lot of people haven't really discussed that often. It's the, like, just imagine going into Genshin right now and doing Sumeru. Just think about it. Like, go onto an account that hasn't explored Sumeru yet and just go do it. In the big 2025. Hell no. Hell no, that shit ain't happening. Let's be honest with ourselves, brother. You ain't doing that shit. All those primo gems, all those exploration rewards in Sumeru, gone. You're not getting them, bro. Ain't nobody doing that. And if you are doing it, guess what? You paid somebody in the Philippines to do it for you. Okay? Nobody is doing Sumeru exploration in 2025 unless they paid somebody to do it. Okay? Straight up. It's not happening. Let's just be entirely honest with ourselves. And so, yes, WuWa actually having, like, mechanics and stuff like this, being able to do it faster, is one of the big benefits of the game. And the devs have already said they're coming out with alternative travel methods for new regions. And I think the goal is to, like, not actually have that backlog of exploration that you know you're never gonna want to do because the experience is like getting your balls shredded by a cheese grate.
Because of how fast you'll be able to get around. Getting materials in the open world will be a lot easier too. And as a new player, you now have another way to speedrun the game if you don't feel like listening to that trash ass story or traveling long distances to get from one checkpoint to another. This is something that's a little overlooked when it comes to playing any game, but for someone like me, quality of life is pretty much the most important thing to me because I hate monotonous tasks that are clearly unnecessary and just there to create headache to get you to swipe.
Oh, this guy would love Genshin Impact.
QOL is very nice, but this upcoming patch will feature a lot of exploration events. For Wuthering Waves being a combat-focused game and feeling like you're in an anime when you're fighting, just give us some of these combat events permanently. And
Guys, this is the thing. Even in this Glaze video, I'm glad that there is kind of like this public recognition that, A, there's really something fucked up with the events recently. Like, how are we not having a combat event 2 patches in a row? 2.5 not having a combat event was like almost just ridiculous, right? Because there were so few other events in the patch. And for 2.6 to not have one either, I think it's offset by the fact that they have like reworks in like other areas and they're introducing some new things. But like they even have like the tower defense game mode, that sort of stuff, so it's not as bad. But like 2 patches in a row with like no kind of like pure combat event is a little bit rough, especially when we're in the region with a gladiator arena. The fact that Septimon Stadium has not been used for a combat event in 3 updates since it's been on the map is crazy. Where is the combat event in the gladiator arena?
Don't get petty with me and give us Dreaming Deep. Some people haven't even played one of your best events, Elusive Realm. And don't say I mention it in every WuWa video because for some reason, they still haven't added the shit. The leisure events can be alright sometimes.
I'm not excited for this one. I'm gonna be real with you. This one looks kind of fucking boring.
Because they are an easy way to get pulls, but you really don't want this to turn into Honkai Star Rail, where it's just minigame after minigame.
I thought this was EZZ.
After minigame after minigame. I'd love to see this ecosystem be utilized because it is one of the most unique things about WuWa. Speaking of the ecosystem, there are 2 new Sonata sets, of course. Wait, one of these new echoes look familiar. Do y'all know who this is? She looks
fucking terrifying.
familiar, but I don't know, maybe I'm just imagining shit. First off, we have the Crown of Valor set that is obviously made for Augusta because literally nobody else can use this from what I understand because nobody is stacking their shield this many times.
I guess it does raise a bit of an issue, right? With how often they're like releasing these new sets that are, you know, coming out with hyper-specific effects. But the fact is that they are 3-piece sets, so they're inherently not going to be the worst thing ever to farm. But like, it's the Nightmare Purification Fields, they're a fucking issue, man. And I hope it gets brought up in the video. There is just something a little bit fucked up about these and how they essentially feel like the most time-gatey thing in the game. I got done with my farming early. I was done after 2 days because I rolled some absolute bangers, right? Within a week of Furlova being released. But I can just imagine a scenario where it's just really hard to get the pieces that you want. You're gonna like run out of modifiers, stuff like that, grinding, and then you get like 10 echoes a day when doing a double tacit field 2 times a day gives you like 24. It feels slower than using wayplates. And yes, it's free, but it also doesn't give tuners and tubes. And so to level up the echoes you're getting from this field, you need to go to your tacit suppression field, go farm other echoes that you're clearly not trying to use because you're building other pieces or you're building a new set. And it's like, okay, I'm farming here for the tubes and tuners. Now I'm farming here for the echoes. And you're just like, okay, what are we? I kind of just prefer the old tacit field system at this point, brother. So yeah, I think it's a bit of a clunky system. I hope to see a rework. I hope it gets like better in 2.6, but we'll see.
She can also put her shield on her teammates like King from ZZZ. And yes, Jianshin has a shield, but she does that little thing and she's not getting very much value out of this set. On the other hand, Law of Harmony looks like a good set, but I'm not exactly sure if Ayuno can use it.
I don't think anyone's going to use this set on release. I think this is meant for a future character.
It's cool to see echo skills being utilized more within these newer sets.
Grinding this set is not going to be nearly as bad as grinding the Augusta set, because you'll be able to like pre-farm for this one before the character is even released. And I guess this is technically the benefit of the Nightmare Purification Fields. I would dare say if all of these sets get released before the character that it's for, and you're farming them from here, then I don't think it's necessarily that big of an issue, right? And maybe it's a good way to get people like kind of hyped or kind of excited for a new character release. You release their Sonata, a version before they're available. People have like the entire update to just farm these echoes, just farm them, have them ready in the inventory. And then once the kit is revealed, right, they can roll accordingly. Because yeah, Law of Harmony is going to be no issue with this system because it's not like you have anybody to put it on, so you can just grind the pieces for free. But for Augusta, where you're trying to get her going, it's gonna be a little bit more rough.
So that's always a welcome thing to note. Wait, 30% heavy attack? All right, I know I'm gonna get bombarded with comments if I don't mention him.
He doesn't use echo skills, you dummy.
Oh shit! Oh shit!
Yeah.
Guy's gay.
Yeah, throw the general a bone when our favorite puppet master has needed a buff since the dawn of time. Is there some favoritism I need to know about when it comes to generals?
He ain't gonna use this set though, brother. This ain't even for him. He don't need it. You ain't gonna build that on him.
Gion is still better, by the way. When it comes to the future, I feel for you all that have optimization problems. So as they release more areas and regions, I can appreciate how much larger they get with more detail and liveliness, but let's at least make sure the game can run. I used to play this game on my phone too, and all I'm gonna say is I had to get a new one. Just kidding, not really. At least Kuro is still fairly generous with the pulls. I don't really care about 20 pulls or whatever.
I don't feel like most people would say, I don't really care about just getting 20 pulls. I feel like most people are like, wait, that's fucking great. I think the whole 20 pull situation is something that the community has successfully prevented the astroturfing of. There were some individuals who were going ahead talking about the 20 pulls that they're just giving out in this patch and then comparing it to Lantern Right and Mavuika Sitlali, saying, look, aren't your polls delayed just like us? Look, Kuro Games is just as dog shit as Hoyoverse. Look, you're down in the dirt eating shit like we are. And it's like, no. Because A, nobody even knew these polls were coming. Nobody expected this random 20 poll to just come on the 2.6 update in the middle of August. People always expect Lantern Right polls. And then you take your generous Thanksgiving time, right? Basically for CN, Lantern Right, the Chinese New Year. And then you go ahead and you proceed to put 2 new characters on the same banner cycle and then save those pulls afterwards, after their banners have left. So you can only spend those 20 pulls on dog shit rerun units and not the actual new units of the patch that are straight up overpowered. Because Mavuik and Sitlali were overpowered. Too strong for the rest of the game. And so it's just like, people trying to draw like some false equivalencies between the two is like the biggest self-report that they are a Hoyo shill. And the funniest part about all of it is that it's not like they're trying to defend Genshin. They're just trying to frame WuWa as just as dog shit as Hoyoverse. That's all they're trying to do. They're not even trying to make Genshin look better. They're just trying to say WuWa's just as bad. And isn't that just, that's just funny. I just think that's funny when that's what all of these efforts are building towards.
It's cool and they are much appreciated. I'm not saying that I don't want them, but it seems like this actually causes a little bit of controversy for some reason whenever this happens. Somebody says, oh, it's not enough. And another will say this is predatory because it's on the second phase.
We've already explained why those individuals are fucking stupid.
I don't really know if that's the case, I'm just saying. Regardless, you will get an abundance of pulls just from playing normally, especially if you've been slacking on content recently. There's a lot more for you to do than when you left off. So with the new QOL that will make playing this game a lot better, new events, new Sonata sets, great characters, and more. There's a lot to be excited about for this next patch and the future of Wuthering Waves, because at the rate they're going, there is going to be something for you that you enjoy.
I think that this is the thing. 2.6, I feel like, is going to be a big patch, and it's going to be a nice patch. And the main relief that most people are going to get from 2.6 is the fact that 2.5's second half is over. I'm going to be entirely honest with you. This might currently be one of the worst phases in, like, Wuthering Waves. Oh, gotta make sure I do these. Oh, I'll make sure to do those. This gotta be one of the worst phases in Wuthering Waves history. From the perspective of, like, literally the events are: go take photos, log in, pulls, this event, which just gives you shit if you spend your wave plates. It's basically just a daily. And then this shit. I've been putting this off because I heard it's dog ass. I don't really, this just looks gay. I don't want to play it. And then this, which was actually fun, but you can literally get this done in 15 minutes. So you have 2 events. This is like actually the 2 events that you have. One you're done with in 15 minutes, and the other's like fucking Hello Kitty Island Adventures. Everyone's just waiting for this update to be over. They're begging this update to be over. That's the real joy of 2.6. Fuck all this other shit he's talking about. We're done with the story at 2.5. The rest of the patch is garbo.
I'm very excited for the Naruto and Sasuke-esque dynamic between the real Archon and the exotic dancer. They have very good designs, by the way. As for their in-game combat presence, I don't think it was exaggerated enough how good these animations are. I think that the
True.
rate WuWa is getting better with these animations is very impressive. Just look at a character like Yinlin's animations and then Augustus. Now it's time for your gotcha jargon word of the day. Today's word is shill. A person who publicly helps or gives credibility to a person or organization without disclosing that they have a close relationship with said person or organization, or have been paid to do so. Can you
Is this an appropriate time to bring up Mr. Pokey? Well, I guess by asking that question, I've already done it. It is what it is.
think of anyone that this definition matches up with? Please let me know. Thank you for watching this far if you have.
All right. I would just say, great vid, great sort of coverage. I think he covers a lot of like, kind of like the highs and the lows of this update. But what I'm going to go with is, again, the headcanon that I just talked about before. People aren't excited about 2.6 necessarily because of all the stuff that's in the patch. They're excited about 2.6 because of all the shit in the current patch that they're going to be leaving behind. Because I'm going to be real with you here. The only thing saving this update from being considered the worst in Wuthering Waves history is how good the main story is. And if there wasn't really a satisfying main story quest in this update, it would be the worst in WuWa history. Literally the worst in Wuthering Waves history. The anniversary was better than this. 2.1 was better than this. 1.4 was better than this. 1.2 was better than this. Every other patch in the game, if you discount this game, the 2.5 story was better than this one. And I think it's kind of just like a reflection of, yes, one bad patch half, it's okay. It's something that's fine, especially when the game is sort of sandwiched in between massive, amazing updates like 2.4 to 2.6. But I think it's a matter of, we can have a flattening, right, of the content a bit more. Maybe we could have just had co-op holograms in here. Maybe we could have had some other stuff, a combat event to spruce it up and not make it feel this fucking boring. And it's great that the patch is 1 week shorter to reflect the lack of content in it, but it's also like, I don't think it can be a really heavy ad to just throw a fun combat one, a fun co-op thing in here, right? Just keep the engagement going so that it doesn't feel like the game is like legitimately like having a momentary stroke with how little there is to do in it. So yeah, that'll be that, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, awesome vid from the DG2. I'll see you all later. Let me know what you all think. Peace.